Welcome to today's deep dive. We're tackling Hershey's, going beyond just enjoying their chocolate.
Yeah, digging into their business model.
We've got their 2023 and 2024 reports, 10Ks, 10Qs,
The real nitty-gritty.
to figure out how this chocolate empire really works, how they make their money, their costs, and what keeps them ahead of the competition.
Yeah, we're going beyond just enjoying their chocolate and dissecting how this over-a-century-old company keeps thriving.
Ready to break it all down.
Let's dive in.
All right, let's start basic. How does Hershey's actually make money? It's chocolate, obviously, but is it really just those Kisses and Reese's?
Well, their North America confectionery segment, all those classics, were huge in 2023. 89% of their total net sales, actually.
29%.
From their 2023 10K, their annual report. That's where they lay it all out.
Wow, that's a huge chunk of their business. Makes you realize how much of a giant they are in the confectionery world. But where's all that chocolate going? Who are they selling to?
You might be surprised to hear a big chunk comes from just one customer. McLane Company.
McLane Company.
They're a massive distributor, supplying retailers, Walmart, convenience stores, even wholesale clubs.
Oh, okay, so they're like the middleman.
Exactly.
Right.
Back in 2022, McLane alone made up 28% of Hershey's total sales.
Whoa, 28% from just one customer.
It shows you how important these relationships are, for sure.
Yeah, a little risky maybe.
It highlights the importance of those relationships, for sure. But it's not all about chocolate bars anymore. Remember, Hershey's is evolving.
Right. They're not just a chocolate company these days. What else is going on?
They've got those salty snacks, popcorn, pretzels.
Oh, yeah, right. And they're not just a North American company anymore either, right?
Exactly. Their international segment is growing. They're in Mexico, Brazil, India, Malaysia, and even further through exports. So you travel anywhere, chances are you'll bump into a Hershey product.
Yeah, it's a good reminder that even a company we think we know can surprise us. Okay, so we've got a better picture of how they make their money. But let's talk about what it takes to create all that deliciousness. Making mountains of chocolate can't be cheap. What are their biggest expenses?
Raw materials, for sure.
Right.
Especially cocoa, sugar, dairy, those are major. Plus, packaging, the energy to run those factories, natural gas, diesel, and of course, shipping all those products everywhere.
Yeah, I bet that adds up.
Oh, absolutely.
I was reading in their 2023 10K that 70% of the world's cocoa comes from West Africa.
Oh, wow.
That's a lot riding on one region. I bet those fluctuating commodity prices can be a real headache.
Absolutely. They actually use something called futures contracts to manage that risk. Essentially, they're hedging their bets.
What does that mean?
Think of it like pre-ordering ingredients at today's price so they don't get any nasty surprises later.
Ah, that's smart. But we've all seen prices going up. I feel like that bag of Kisses is getting smaller, or at least lighter.
That's exactly what they're trying to do, balance those rising costs. It's this careful dance between protecting their profits and keeping us happy.
So are they raising prices or shrinking product sizes?
They have to choose. It's a tough call. A lot of companies face this dilemma.
Yeah, true. We all notice those changes, but we still buy it. So what is it about Hershey's that keeps people coming back? What's their edge in this crazy snack market?
It's about their value proposition, right?
The value proposition, what's that exactly?
They've spent over a century building those iconic brands, creating nostalgia, trust. They've got this massive distribution network. You see their products everywhere. Plus, they're committed to quality and safety, and consumers value that.
Yeah, you're right. They've got that classic feel. But it's not just about the classics, right? I was looking at their 2023 10K, and they've got some interesting licensing agreements. Like they let other companies make and sell things like York peppermint patties.
That's right.
That's wild.
Yeah, that York peppermint patty is actually made by someone else, but sold under the Hershey's umbrella. And their biggest licensing agreement is with Cadbury UK Limited.
Cadbury.
They get to make and sell Cadbury and Caramello products here in the U.S.
So it's like they're expanding their reach without having to invent everything themselves.
Exactly. Smart move.
That's clever.
Yeah.
But how do they stay ahead in a market that's so competitive? I mean, everyone loves snacks. There's so much out there these days.
Well, Hershey's isn't afraid to innovate. They're always coming up with new flavors and products to keep us on our toes.
So what's next for them?
We actually get a little peek into that in their 2021 agreement with Barry Callebaut.
Barry Callebaut. Who are they?
They're a leading manufacturer of high-quality chocolate and cocoa products. Hershey's is partnering with them for some exciting new developments, though the specifics, those are top secret. unfortunately.
Secret chocolate formulas. Now that's something I'd love to get my hands on. But even without knowing the secret recipes, we can see they're making some interesting moves. Like in
Definitely.
2024, they acquired some assets from Weaver Popcorn.
Oh, yeah, Weaver, a good one.
Seems like they're really doubling down on that salty snack trend.
Exactly. And remember those acquisitions of Dot's Pretzels and Lily's Sweets a while back?
Oh yeah, Dots and Lilies?
Smart move. They're tapping into that better-for-you snack category, recognizing that consumers are shifting their preferences.
Makes sense. People want to indulge, but maybe feel a little less guilty about it.
They want it all.
So Hershey's is trying to have something for everyone. A
Mhm.
classic chocolate bar, a low-sugar, gluten-free pretzel, whatever you're craving.
Covering all their bases. But let's face it, this snack aisle is a battlefield. What kind of challenges are they facing?
Yeah, it's a tough market. What are the big ones for Hershey's?
Well, costs, for one thing. Ingredient prices can be a roller coaster. Cocoa, sugar, dairy, they can fluctuate wildly. Weather, politics, even global demand. It's a lot to keep track of.
It's like trying to predict the stock market, but with chocolate chips.
Huh, exactly. And remember those supply chain disruptions we talked about? How much of their cocoa comes from West Africa?
Yeah, 70% right.
Any issues in that region, anything from political unrest to natural disasters, could really mess things up.
Wow, yeah. Makes you realize how much goes on behind the scenes just to get a chocolate bar on the shelf.
Absolutely.
So how do they even plan for all of that? It's a lot of uncertainty.
Well, they try to diversify their sourcing so they're not relying too heavily on any one region. And they're always working to make their operations more efficient, streamline things.
How do they do that?
Well, for example, they have a product excellence program.
Product excellence program.
It focuses on ensuring quality and safety. Plus, they're big on sustainability, which is something consumers care about more and more these days.
Sustainability is definitely a big deal. People want to know that the companies they're buying from are being responsible. It's not just about the product itself, it's about the whole journey.
From bean to bar, as they say. And speaking of that journey, we haven't even touched on the operational side of things.
Right. It's one thing to come up with a new chocolate bar. It's another to actually get it made, packaged, shipped, and onto store shelves around the world.
Talk about a logistical puzzle.
So what are the key things they need to get right to keep those chocolate rivers flowing? Give us the inside scoop.
Well, this starts with sourcing, of course. Got to secure those high-quality ingredients, cocoa, sugar, everything else, and at the best prices. Then you've got the manufacturing process. These factories are like well-oiled machines churning out tons of chocolate with incredible precision.
I bet there's some serious science and engineering behind those perfectly shaped Hershey's Kisses.
Oh, absolutely. And once those treats are made, they got to get to the people who want to eat them. That means managing a massive network of distributors and retailers, making sure those shelves are stocked, those deliveries are on time.
Right, and then you've got to get people excited about the products. That's where marketing comes in.
Absolutely. Marketing is key. Got to build those emotional connections, create those cravings. It's a whole art and science.
It's amazing how many moving parts there are. And with all of this going on, they can't forget about cybersecurity either.
Oh, of course not. That's huge these days.
I remember reading in their 2024 10K about how they're focusing on data protection and cyber attack prevention, a whole other layer of complexity.
It is. They have to protect their systems, their data, their reputation, especially in today's digital world.
So it really is a balancing act, managing costs, keeping up with trends, ensuring quality, all while fending off the competition.
Exactly. And in the end, it's all about creating value
For their customers.
for their customers, for their shareholders. It's about finding that sweet spot between making a profit and making a difference.
It's like I'm getting an MBA in chocolate here.
Uh-huh, yeah.
Seriously, though, it's fascinating to see how much thought and strategy goes into something we might take for granted. So as we wrap up this part of our deep dive, what are your key takeaways? What stands out to you about Hershey's approach?
Well, I think what's really impressive is their ability to stay relevant.
Even after all these years.
Even with such a long history, they're not just coasting on nostalgia, they're embracing change. Whether it's through innovation, acquisitions, or focusing on sustainability, they're constantly evolving. It's a lesson for any company, really. You can't just rest on your laurels.
That's a great point. It's like they're saying, we're a classic, but we're not stuck in the past. We'll be right back after a short.
We're back for the final stretch of our Hershey's deep dive.
Can you believe how much we've covered already?
I know, right? From mountains of cocoa beans to York peppermint patties. But before we wrap up, there's one more piece I'm curious about. In this digital age, What role does technology play in Hershey's success?
Oh, it's massive. Think about all the data they have. Sales figures, marketing feedback, even updates straight from those chocolate-making machines.
It's like they're plugged into the whole chocolate ecosystem. Exactly. And by using data analytics, they can gain these incredible insights, helping them make smarter decisions.
That makes sense, like having a crystal ball for consumer trends and efficiency. So how does this actually work? What kind of questions can data answer for them?
Well, imagine predicting the next hot flavor or even spotting supply chain issues before they become a chocolate shortage.
Whoa, that's powerful.
They can even personalize marketing, like suggesting a new dark chocolate to someone who loves almonds.
Wow, that's cool. So they're tailoring the chocolate experience. But isn't that a huge undertaking? Building the infrastructure to collect and analyze all that data.
It's a big investment for sure, but for a company like Hershey's, it's essential to stay competitive.
Makes sense.
And data isn't just about boosting profits, it helps with their sustainability efforts too.
Oh, interesting. How so?
Well, by tracking their environmental footprint across the entire supply chain, they can pinpoint areas to improve and become more eco-conscious.
So they're using data to make better chocolate A&D a better planet. But with all this information at their fingertips, how do they ensure they're being responsible? Data privacy is a big deal these days.
Absolutely. Hershey's has to be transparent about how they collect and use data, and they need strong cybersecurity to protect it from breaches. Trust is key in this data-driven world.
It's a good reminder that technology is powerful, but needs to be used ethically.
Couldn't agree more.
It's not just about crunching numbers, it's about doing the right thing.
Exactly. And that brings us to a final thought for you, our listeners. As technology keeps evolving, how will Hershey's adapt? What new challenges and opportunities will pop up? How will things like AI or automation impact the future of chocolate?
That's something to think about. They've definitely shown they can adapt and stay ahead. I'm excited to see what the future holds for them. It's been a really eye-opening journey exploring Hershey's business model. I feel like I have a whole new appreciation for the thought, the strategy, even the technology behind those treats we love.
It's been great diving deep with you and uncovering those hidden layers of a company we thought we knew.
A reminder that even a chocolate bar has a fascinating story behind it.
Definitely.
And all our listeners, thanks for joining us on this delicious deep dive.
Thanks for having me.
If you're craving more, check out the show notes for links to those source documents. Until next time, keep exploring, keep learning, and maybe enjoy a Hershey's kiss or two along the way.